Hey, hello there, French Vinyl Addict coming out in another video. Hope you guys are starting 2024 with style. This time of the year is winter. It's winter time. We got a lot of snow. Well, not a lot, but we have snow. It's winter. Even though I could find some record locally, I went to some record store, some local record store last week. I also made a purchase online. So this is what I'm going to show you today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing all the purchases I made last month. Ready? Let's go. So yeah, January. I'm gonna start off with a local band, Contraction, and the reason why I'm on the lookout for some prog Québécois is because Fred, a VC member, he's got two channels, one in English, Big Star 1000, and New Delir. He recently made a video about all this prog Québécois treasure from the 70s, and he was mentioning this album, particularly this album, La Bourse ou la Vie, released in 1974. This was the project, or the man behind the project was Yves Laferrière, a very iconic bass player here in Quebec. And yeah, with other people, they recorded this album. You can tell by the design, it's really Crimsonian, and you find those elements on this record as well, with a lot of jazz fusion. Christian Robichaud took the lead in vocal part. Really interesting. So this is La Bourse ou la Vie, and I could find an original copy released on the Durham label, La Bourse ou la Vie. Really cool. The next one is another prog band from Quebec. So this is Morse Code. This is the album called Je suis le temps. Released in 1977, they started as a psych band back in the day. They evolved through more prog, Yes or Genesis were, I think, massive source of inspiration for these guys. They recorded this album in England. Procreation, which was released in 1976, is probably considered as their best. And yeah, it's still interesting to rediscover those bands. They were not only Opus 5 or Harmonium. There were other great band from Quebec. We were talking about England. We are staying in England. Sandy Denny, this is a solo album she made right after she left Fairport Convention at the early 70s. So I really like, her voice, really like Fairport Convention, this folk band. I often mention this, the influence, the importance they had in back in the day as a massive source of inspiration for the prog generation, of course, such as Family or the Strobes. So yes, Sandy Denny left Fairport Convention, recorded this album. She joined Fairport Convention again. She made another album with a band in '75, and then she sadly passed away a couple of years later. So this is really a typical folk early 70s, and yeah, this is a original pressing released on the Island label. So nice catch. And yeah, speaking of a great female vocalist, I was lucky to find a copy of that album as well. Joni Mitchell, Ladies of the Canyon, released in 1970. What a great album. David Atkinson often mentioned Joni Mitchell on his videos. It piqued my curiosity, so to say. I was really lucky to find this record in a very good shape. You got a lot of hits on that one. Big Yellow Taxi, Woodstock, of course, and it's I really like the story, how she wrote the song Woodstock. She never had a chance to go to the Woodstock concert or festival, and she was like stuck in the hotel room. She was watching on the local TV all was what was happening, and her producer said, "No, you cannot go there. You have this important TV show the next day." So she wrote that song. Crosby, Stills, Nash, they did a cover version right after her version. They were at Woodstock, of course, and Matthews, Southern Comfort, they also did a very smooth cover version of that one, just for the anecdote, just for the record. So this is Joni Mitchell. This is Ladies of the Canyon. Okay, now we are back in the UK. I was lucky. It was really funny. I was lucky within, let's say, 2 weeks to find this version and this version of the same band. So let's start with the first one. This is not the same album. This is early 70s band from the UK. This is jazz fusion rock. This is Colosseum. The album called Valentine Suite, released on the iconic Vertigo label, and I could find an OJ copy with this iconic, much more sought after version / pressing record. So I'm really glad. Album is in very good shape, plays really well, and I read that book. I often mention that book written by Émeric Leroy. He was mentioning this band. Didn't know much about, so I tried to find a copy, and I knew they were at the same time they recorded another album, which is not another album. I say they had this project, which became this albums, which was only released in Canada and in the US back in then. So this is not the same. Well, we got three same songs on each of these versions. But this was released only in Canada, in the US, as I said, released on the Dunhill label, and yeah, it's more classic. Let's say they took the Bolero, Ravel, they do like variations about this theme, a classical piece of music. So it's a little bit less funky than the Valentine Suite, but both versions are really worth listening. Okay, we are staying in the UK. I found a copy of this album, this band I didn't know much about. I thought they were like glam rock, typical cover version of all the young dudes from David Bowie. And as it happens, I recently take part every week on the Ian Ranking the Obscure live streams, and I got to meet Michael Ricefield Records, and he was mentioning several times about this band, about this record, and I think he took a song on his vinyl tag 2024 lay down, so it piqued my curiosity. It's not really a typical glam, or I was expecting more a glam album. It's more like acoustic country in a way, and they had this Keep a Rocking, which is a live medley suite they took from a Croydon gig they made back in the day. So this is a very interesting. Mode the Hoople, Wildlife, released in 1971, the same year as they made Brain Cappers, another great album I also had. I found this single, Killing Joke, Love Like Blood. We don't often mention about this band. They were part of this early 80s bands from the UK. Probably had as an inspiration source people like Hawkwind, space rock. In my book, Geordie Warhol recently passed away, so he was the guitar player in this band. I wish I could find the album. This is only the single, Love Like Blood. So really good track, released in 1985. And last but not least, I'm going to show you a record, a box set I've waited for 3 years, and I'm really serious about that. I already mentioned this album on my obscure video. This is Dark. This is a obscure band from Northampton, UK. They recorded one album in 1972. They pressed 64 copies. So good. You don't find any OJ copies unless you pay like an arm and legs, or you don't even find the copies nowadays. And it's interesting. This album had already been reissued several times. It was discovered 20 years later. You know that story. You can go to my video. I'm explaining all that. Plus, I'm gonna put a link. Jonas, a good friend, a good VC member. He recently got to interview Steve Giles, the leader. I will put a link on this interview. I'm not sure if this interview has already been published, but I will try to find a link because I really like his channel. By the way, Jonas, I don't remember the name of the channel, but his name is Jonas. Yeah. So yeah, back on track. We are talking about obscure 70s band from the 70s. Sounds like the Groundhogs, and as Ian would say, it's a gritty, dirty, heavy blues, as he said. So they released this album in 1972. Had already been released several times with more or less of Giles' involvement, and now it's pretty interesting. It's the 50th years. It's the 50th anniversary edition, and he went with the master tapes down to Abbey Road Studios, and this album was remastered there by Sean McGee, the one who was also in charge of the Beatles material. So, really great job. It was also that lacquers were cut there, so they really took the artwork, the original artwork of the OJ64 copies, which were made back then, and it got a booklet with some stories, and a special kudo. By the way, Firstable is a brilliant release. This album is amazing. It's really amazing. Comes with a cover and a poster. Firstly, it's a brilliant release, and it's fairly priced. I was really shocked. I thought I wouldn't believe my eye. I thought for a box set like that, I was expecting to pay like $100 or something. I paid 37 Canadian dollars, which is like probably 30, let's say 30 US dollar for this amazing work, this box set. So just to say, it has been fairly priced. So congrats, Steve. I think it's still available. You have just to find your Junior Records. I think they were the one they were in charge of selling this release. So I'm really happy. This one I've been waiting for a long time. Steve Giles is a very nice guy. He's got a YouTube channel, and sometimes I was asking, hey, when it will be released, and he was replying to everyone. Great project, great album. So dark, Run of the Age. So this video is a little bit longer than usual, but I was so excited about that, so I had to share with you guys. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next chapter. Bye bye.